Hello and welcome to my Yugioh channel. We've got something really exciting and interesting to look into and look forward to within Yugioh 7s. As it says here, there's going to be both a new mechanic and a brand new monster type to be introduced. Since this is a little bit into Season 2, I think it's the first 5 or 6 episodes that's been featured, it doesn't surprise me that we are getting a new mechanic in the form of fusion monsters. And I'm surprised at even myself saying fusion is a new mechanic, considering from the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusions have existed since other monsters have existed pretty much within the first several sets. That being said, I'm sure this will be putting a different direction for a lot of decks and make things a little bit more interesting and speed things up hopefully a little bit as well. You won't get lots of extremely powerful fusion monsters to begin with, much the same as the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh! They'll actually power creep as they go through the series, but it's something we can look forward to, potentially if they've already worked on fusions now, and I know it's quite slow to get into. They'll release rituals within brief time of this as well, considering they were released not too far apart. Then we might also see, since we've got these, we might see synchros and we might see exceeds monsters. I don't necessarily think they're going to go as far as pendulum monsters, or even for that matter link monsters, but they always have the window open for those. Anyway, the card is called Fusion. As you can see, the character is holding it. It's a normal spell card with no requirements, and the effect is to send one face-up monsters you control to the graveyard as materials for a fusion summon. These have to be face-up monsters, so it's different to polymerization. These have to be on your field rather than in the hand and on your field. So there is a negative to that, but that's counteracted by the whole idea that you can normal summon multiple times within a turn. So Rush Duels policy lets you just normal summon as many times as you want, so long as you've got the monsters in your hand to be able to summon into, and so long as you've got the tributes necessary if you have something like a level 7 or 8 monster in your hand to be able to summon those cards. Here we have a brief definition to say, unlike fusion summoning in the OCG, or the trading card game, which is dubbed Yugioh Shoken, Rush Duel's version of the mechanic is called Fusion Shoken. So similar, but not quite the same thing. So there may be some differences we might see in the future. And it says here as well, this is the interesting part. Yugioh's fusion-based ace monster, who doesn't currently have a name, is cited by Guru or as Swirly as being a cyborg type, as in compared to a machine type or a cyberse type. We'll list further information on Rush Duel's fusion summoning and the cyber type as it is made available. This is amazing because firstly, this is the first new type to be introduced within Rush Duels. The last really new type we had worms, and we had in Link Monsters we had cyberse types. Cyberse was the latest form of type we received. Previous to that we've had things like tuners, we have synchro monsters, Xyz. So we've had evolutions and generic types as they've progressed within series, but never within a what was deemed a side step of Yu-Gi-Oh! I will be fascinated to see what makes the difference between this and a machine type and a cyberse type. From what I've noticed from design-wise, machine types tend to just look like machines anyway. Cyberse types often look like evolved, modernized versions of machines, but some of them do have that human element to them. So you've got like Backup Secretary, which looks very much humane-like, and that's a cyberse type. But this seems to fuse between a machine and a human. It looks like it's not separating the two, and that actually it works very much that kind of eerie feel to it. My only concern is, and this is more from the inner child within me, that I find that the monster, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, looks particularly creepy, and they're going to have to be quite careful about how they're actually drawing these cards. I know Konami has had issues in the past when drawing some of these artworks that they've had to change them depending on the region and location. Often it's to do with religious connotations, problems to do with that, Christianity and the such. Or it's to do with issues to do with male and like female body parts and such like that. You know, they're not accessible or allowed to be shown. They have to be covered up within certain environments. But definitely these cards look as creepy as you potentially have them, and they're just going to have to be quite careful about this. What do you guys think of this new cyborg type? Do you think there's going to be anything special that's going to design and make it different from machines or cyberse types? Or do you think this is just expanding the type range pool a little bit further so that, you know, for dragon types they had worm types introduced so that they weren't so broken? Maybe this is to do the same, whereas machine types, they've always had powerful cards in the form of things like cyber dragons. And even within cyberse types, since that was the whole purpose of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains as a series, that they had so many different cyberse types that they've got too many options to bring forward. They need to bring a new type in so that it just doesn't come as overpowered as it could be. Whatever you think, leave those comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh! Content.